again, this is Nisa Harris, your host, and you are listening to Shomea V'Oneh, Tehillim and Other Hebrew Texts podcast, episode 10. The following is the recitation of the 7th Psalm, aka Perek or Mizmor, Zayin. After the recitation, stay tuned to hear more about this mizmor and its relation to the upcoming holiday of Purim. Yay! This episode is being released earlier than usual because it is commonly used as a mizmor that is specifically said on Purim. Mizmor Zayin 7. Shigayon LeDavid. Asher Sar Ladonai. Al Divrei Kush Ben Yemini. Adonai Elohai, Becha Chasiti, Hoshi'eni, Mikol Rodfai, Vehatzileni, Pen Yitrof Ke'aryeh Nafshi, Porek Ve'en Matzil, Adonai Elohai, Im Asiti Zot, Im Yesh Avel Bekapai, Im Gamalti Sholmi Ra, Ve'achaltza Tzoreri Rekam, Yiradof Oyev, Nafshi V'yaseg V'yirmos La'aretz Chayai Ukvodi La'afar Yishkein Sela Kuma Adonai Ba'apecha Hinasei Ba'avrot Tzorarai Ve'ura Elai Mishpat Tzivita Ve'adat Le'umim Tesovevecha, Ve'aleha lemarom shuva, Adonai yadin, Amim safteni Adonai, Kitzidki uchetumi alai, Yigmarna ra rishaim, Utechonen tzadik Ubochen libot uklayot Elohim tzadik Magini al Elohim Moshia Yisrei Lev Elohim Shofet Tzadik Ve'el Zoem Bekol Yom Imlo Yashuv Charbo Yiltosh Kashto Darach V'yechoneneha V'lo Hechin Klei Mavet Chitzav Lidolkim Yif'al Hine Yechabel Aven V'hara Amal V'yalad shaker, Bor kara v'yachperehu, V'yipol b'shachat yif'al, Yashuv amalo b'rosho, Ve'al kardo chamaso yered. Odeh Adonai Kitzidko Ve'azamra Shem Adonai Elyon. Mizmor Zayin, or Psalm 7, is thought to include or show a shigayon of Dovid, which is a word only mentioned one other place in Tanakh by the prophet Habakkuk. Shigayon is understood to be composed under strong mental emotion and can be interpreted as a mistake of Dovid, either suggesting that Dovid hints at different mistakes that he has made in this mizmor, or that the way in which Dovid delivers the prayer itself is a mistake. Dovid is asking for Hashem to save him from his pursuers. However, in this mizmor, he strongly asks Hashem, Kuma Hashem ba'apcha, hinasei ba'avrot tzorarai. Get up in anger. Raise yourself with fury. Dovid is asking for harsh action to be taken against his enemies. Rabbi Gavi Fried gives a shiur on this mizmor, where he alludes to the understanding that this was the mistake of Dovid, to assume that he could determine justice and ask Hashem to vengefully smite his enemies because Dovid himself deemed it was appropriate. The mizmor is commonly said in some segments of the Jewish community on Purim because there's actually a pasuk, tet zayin, that says, Bor kara vayafrichu, vayipol b'shachat yifal. He dug a pit and deepened it, and he fell into the pit that he made. This is towards the end of the mizmor, when Dovid starts to kind of change his tune and recognize that the enemy will cause his own downfall because Hashem has a plan for those who aim to take destruction and punishment into their own hands. It's reminiscent of the hidden ways in which Hashem foiled Haman's plan on Purim, behind the scenes, and Haman in the end created a gallows for himself to be hung. We just read Parshat Zachor to remember to not be like Amalek, Haman, etc., a nation that took the law into their own hands, who preyed on the weak and carried out their own judgment. In our current day, we are unexpectedly dealing with the coronavirus. I have given a shiur on the role illness plays in our lives. In the past, I have. And from the sources, we see that sometimes illness just happens, and other times Hashem gives that suffering in order to give an opportunity for that person to improve in some way. A person's mental state about why something is happening to them greatly affects their ability to get through that situation. So in any case, if it makes you emotionally or spiritually stronger for having been through it, then great, whether or not you quote unquote deserved it or not. I heard a shiur that said that the coronavirus, I wasn't so thrilled with the shiur, the coronavirus didn't just happen randomly. There are specific people that have been specifically getting it, and we all need to realize that we have to do teshuvah. I agree that we could all stand to take hold and introspect and see if there's anything we need to pray for. However, one thing that is very clear from our sources is that although the person that is afflicted with the illness can determine their own mindset about whether or not it was, sent from Hashem as a catalyst to improve themselves, we as a community cannot judge and determine the justice of Hashem, thinking that this is what this person deserves, like Dovid HaMelech or Amalek were doing. That was the mistake of Dovid and the Amalek nation, and that's the opposite of what we are supposed to be like. Our job is to be there as best we can to assist in alleviating the pain of those affected and not to make any judgments on individuals. Please stay tuned until after this quick break. Ultimately, the whole world is being affected by this current corona scare. This learning and Tehillim recitation is done in the merit that Hashem should bring a refuah shalema to the whole world in good time and help those who needed the lesson to improve in those ways easily. For those indirectly affected, may we learn the areas that we need to improve on, whether it's learning increased empathy, rationality, altruism, patience, seeking real truth and facts and knowledge, etc., simply by being part of such an occurrence. In the next episode, I will be aiming to get all of the Megillat Esther out there for all those who are in quarantine on Purim. And so anyone who has a kosher Megillah and wants the ability to read it for themselves, hopefully this will be helpful. And just pass that on to whoever you think might need. May we all get back to the routine of life in good time and hopefully soon. If you come across an episode that's not sponsored and you would like to sponsor one, you can email me at nursenisa1@gmail.com, and you can also join the Facebook group so you're kept up to date with upcoming episodes. Thank you for your support and thanks for listening.